This week, I'm going to discuss what to do with an old 401k when in your 50s. If you are in your 50s and have changed jobs, you may be wondering what to do with an old 401k that still sits in your former employer's plan. In this short video, I'll walk you through your main options so that money does not end up stranded or cashed out by default. I'm Phil Weiss, CPA, CFA, and registered life planner. I work with women facing new beginnings, including divorce, widowhood, an empty nest, or a career change. In my practice, I often see this pattern. You've changed jobs a few times in your 50s. One or more old 401ks are still sitting at former employers. You're not quite sure how they're invested or what to do with them now. You might not even know the account's value. The result, it's harder to see your full retirement picture, and that can make decisions about your financial future feel more stressful than they need to be. Let me share a simple example. I have a client in her 50s who had several small old 401ks from earlier jobs. Over time, she pretty much lost track of them. She knew they existed, but they were out of sight and out of mind. We worked together to track down each account and combine those old 401ks with the rest of her retirement money in an existing IRA. Now she has fewer accounts to follow, a clearer view of her retirement savings, and the comfort of knowing someone is paying attention to those dollars. When you're asking what to do with an old 401k when in your 50s, this is often the real goal: less clutter and more clarity. When you think about what to do with an old 401k when in your 50s, you usually have three broad options. On this slide, you see three columns. Leave it in the old plan, roll it to your new employer plan, roll it into an IRA. Let me touch on each in simple terms. Leave it in the old plan. This can make sense if the old plan has low costs and solid investment choices. The trade-off is that you cannot contribute to that plan anymore. And the more plans you have at different employers, the more you have to track. Plus, when you reach a certain age, having multiple 401ks means you must take separate distributions from each account. Roll it into your new employer plan. If your new plan allows rollovers, this can be a clean way to combine old and new 401k money. You end up with one workplace plan and one statement, which can make it easier to keep your overall mix on track. 3. Roll it into an IRA. An IRA often offers more investment choices and can serve as a single home for several old 401ks over time. You may find it easier to see your retirement savings in one place and to coordinate your strategy with any taxable accounts you have. In most cases, a direct rollover, where the money moves directly from one account to another, helps you avoid current taxes on the transfer. How to decide and what to avoid. So, how do you decide which option fits you? A few questions to ask yourself. Do I want to track fewer accounts? Which option offers reasonable fees and sound investments? Do I want help managing these investments, or am I comfortable doing that on my own? How does each choice support the life I want in my 60s and beyond? There's also one thing I want you to be very careful about. Cashing out an old 401k can trigger income tax and possible penalties, especially if you're under age 59 and a half and no exceptions apply. That can shrink what you'll have available for retirement later, as you will solve a short-term problem with long-term dollars. If you're unsure what to do with an old 401k when in your 50s, pause before you request a cash out. Look at your other options first. Here are some simple next steps you can take after this video. 1. Make a list of all the places you've worked where you had an old 401k and note where it lives. 2. Decide whether you're more likely to leave it, roll it to a new plan, or roll it to an IRA. 3. For a deeper dive on the pros and cons, you can read my blog, Should I Complete a 401k Rollover?, on the Apprise blog page. And if you'd like a calm, clear plan for what to do with an old 401k when in your 50s and beyond, I invite you to schedule a call. You can also sign up to receive our weekly blog. We can review your accounts together and make sure your retirement money is set up to support the life you want in your next chapter. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.